Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Stampin' Up with Jamie. If you're catching this on replay on my blog or on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed tonight's card. Feel free to take a peek at my blog or ask any questions that you have, and I hope I can be of help to you. Tonight is my Facebook Live tutorial, and I'm just gonna bring it up on my computer here so I can follow along with comments and make sure I'm in the right spot, and it looks like I am. Good. Okay. Hello everyone. Did everyone have a nice holiday season, Christmas and New Year's? Everyone rested after staying up late last night? I hope so. We had a lovely time. It's been a fun week. Hi Amy. Hi Karen. Hello. Tonight, hi Michelle. So I usually try and plan a card that's a little bit more, I don't want to use the word complex, but maybe hopefully teaches you a new technique or a new idea or whatnot. But being that we are, at least I feel like I'm still sort of in vacation mode over here, I decided to use new product but keep the card fairly clean and simple. I'm going to kind of walk you through my thought process that went into this, because as is the case usually, this isn't necessarily how I thought the card would be turning out. I kind of evolved into this, which is kind of fun. So let me just show you what we're working with here tonight. The stamp set that I'm using is called Under My Umbrella. It is from the 2020 January to June mini catalog. It does go live this Friday, January the 3rd. It's really super cute. What's great about it is it pairs with a punch. So punches are great because they can be used by people that are just starting out, people that have been crafting a long time. They're great for sort of assembly, lining up a whole bunch of cards to work on. They're very user-friendly. And it does coordinate. So in our stamp set, thank you Linda for sharing, I so appreciate it. In the stamp set here, we have two different umbrellas, one that's open and one's kind of like semi-closed. And we have some boots, rain, different flowers, and some great sentiments. You know me, I love my sentiments. Tonight we're using the Hello Sunshine because I feel like it really can fit a number of different occasions and whatnot. Let's see here, Showered with Love. I really like that one because it's great for like a baby shower, a wedding shower, bridal shower. I think that's fun. Something to kind of encourage someone if they're having a rough time. So really great sentence for a variety of occasions and circumstances. And then so the punch, they pair with the different umbrellas and then makes a handle as well. So again, this is in the 2020 catalog, January to June catalog. It goes live on Friday. So let's just dive in, and then I'll kind of walk you through. My card starts out with Flirty Flamingo cardstock. It is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. And then I took a panel of Flirty Flamingo, just a pattern from the Brights Designer Series paper pack. It is double-sided, and I'm using the one with the gingham on the one side. And I think it just adds to kind of the cute factor, I guess, of the card. And I have sap on my finger. Oh my goodness, we took down my Christmas tree not like, I don't know, like an hour or two ago, and I had some sap on my finger. I'm sorry. So this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. It covers the entire front of our card today. So and I burned my finger at dinner, so that hurts. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through how I did this umbrella here. It is sort of what I would kind of call like a reverse masking technique. And let's just dive in because it's easier to describe it as I as I do it. You're going to need a piece of computer paper, thin paper. Don't use our cardstock. If you use cardstock, you'll get like a white line. You really need super thin, just a regular like computer printer paper. And you're going to take your image. In this case, we're using the umbrella, the open umbrella. Now, I like this technique or this way of stamping because the umbrella is a fairly simple shape. It's nothing too complicated, doesn't have lots of curves and twists and whatnot. It can easily be cut out. Now, if this was something much, much more complicated, like a floral scene that had lots of twists and curves, I don't know if I would go about using it, quite honestly. But I like it because I feel like it's doable. It's manageable. So what you're going to see is I stamped the flowers just in the umbrella. We still have a little white line around the stamped umbrella image. So let me walk you through. So you're going to take your Memento black ink and you're just going to stamp on that copy paper. Now I stamped kind of low. You may want to stamp like more in the center. Don't do as I did. Stamp it more in the center because if you have big flowers and they extend out, you don't want that to accidentally stamp on your cardstock. While I'm on it, I'm also going to need to stamp this just on our regular Whisper white cardstock. So I'm going to do that now while I have the umbrella out and it's ready to go. Yeah, we'll do it that way. Okay. So I've done it once on just like printer paper and once on Whisper white cardstock. This we're going to set aside in a moment and we'll come back to it. Oh, thanks, Terry. I'm so glad you like it. So what we're going to do is if you were doing the masking technique, you would cut the umbrella out. But what we're actually kind of doing like a reverse version of it. And so we're going to cut the umbrella out, but keep the outside intact. So just snip your paper and then come inside it and you're gonna kind of cut the inside. And you're gonna do this. This gets it's not tricky, but you just gotta take your time, especially like in this bottom part of the umbrella here, but just go slow. That's like the biggest advice I can give for anyone that is fussy cutting is just take your time. Don't rush. You got all, well, maybe you don't have all the time in the world, but do this on a day that you have all the time in the world. Because if you are rushed, then you're more likely to make mistakes. But if you have some time in your hands, there's plenty of time. So you're just going to cut out the inside. Again, you need that outside to stay intact. So you don't want to like cut into it, you know, like snip the outside. You got to kind of like make a cut on the inside and then work your way out. And again, this is copy paper, so it cuts super, super easy. And then you're left with this. It's the negative of the umbrella. Now, if we were doing the masking technique, you would use this and you would cover it and stamp around it, but like we're doing the reverse. Okay, so, oh, I just realized I didn't mount any of my flowers. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Hold on, give me a second here. And I'm using all my, oh my goodness. I didn't take out my extra blocks, so I'm going to put them on ginormal blocks. Actually, maybe I'll move my sentiment on a big block. How funny is that? So there's 4 different floral images. I'm just going to use these 2 here. Because they're the bigger of the 4. And so I feel like they show the detail just a bit more. Okay. So let me get, my husband's doing the dishes upstairs. You can probably hear him. So that goes there, and then I need one more for this guy. We'll put him here. Oh, that's an old block. That block is here, but it is. Okay. So, moving forward, you could do one of 2 things. You could now take your Whisper white cardstock here and not have done this. And then you could just straight up stamp your floral image all around your umbrella. Use your umbrella punch and cut it out. That would be perfectly fine. The only difference is that you wouldn't get that white line going around the umbrella. Those flowers would extend out past the stamped image. You're interested. It's the one thing he does. I guess I can't complain about that. Okay, so if you're not like a huge fussy cutter person, you don't really enjoy it, it's not your thing, then just skip this whole part, skip that, and then just take your floral images and do what we're going to do and have them just extend out past the umbrella, color it in, and cut it out. And the only difference is that you would have a little bit of flowers outside of the umbrella. But I didn't really want that because I'm sort of particular and wanted it nice and clean and like it was meant to be cut that way. So what I did is I took the negative, the computer paper negative that I have here, and I'm going to put that over my umbrella image that I just stamped on the Whisper White cardstock. Now, ideally, another thing is if you had a Post-it note, that would probably be even better because it would stay put. But I'm going to use, oh, I just tossed it in here. Where is it? Hold on. Oh, there we go. We'll use this. I'm just going to use a little bit of washi tape. So if you had a Post-it note, instead of using copy paper, you could have just stamped on a Post-it note because you really want it staying put. You don't want it shifting all over the place. But washi tape does just the job as well. It holds it in place like so. Okay, so then you're going to take your Memento ink again and take our floral images and go right over our umbrella. And I'm kind of alternating so it doesn't look like I'm just using the same one, although they are very similar images. And just going right over, I'm kind of, I'll show you in a second, but they have a nice curve to them, the images. So they kind of like fit beautifully together. Put your lid on your ink pad, and when you pull this up, oops, it's ripping my cardstock, but that's okay. You have just the flowers on the umbrella. It stayed, everything is inside that umbrella image, which is kind of fun. I just think that's so fun. I just think that's so fun. Now, here's the thing. I was kind of playing around with the different things, and I did try it with the boots, and it came out like this. I didn't like it quite as much. I'm just a little OCD, and I figured if the boots were side by side, the images wouldn't have lined up perfectly like they did. And so it just didn't quite look right to me. But that's just me. I was like overanalyzing. I think it is kind of cute on the boots, but you kind of lose that they're boots. Anyways, so then what I did, what you can do is I just took my Stampin' blends. I'm working with Flirty Flamingo, Granny Apple Green, Daffodil Delight, and the Light Pool Party. And I'm just going to color in the images. Oh, my computer just totally died. How fun is that? The Flirty Flamingo I used for the images, the floral images that have the little center to them. Yeah, this is the light one. And I just colored those in. Again, when I use the Stampin' blends, I do like to start with the light color, and then I come back with like low lights with the dark marker. I like this color combination because it's very spring and cheerful. I think it fits well with like the theme of an umbrella and just wishing someone well. It's very happy. So that's kind of where my head went there. Okay, that's the light. Then the dark, I'm just going to add, literally I'm just throwing color on here. Some like extra dark shade. And then with the brush, light Flirty Flamingo, I'm just going to blend that all together. Such as that. Okay. Now there's also floral images that don't have that little center to it. They're just kind of like, they almost look like a cloud, a mini cloud. And those I did in Daffodil Delight. Again, I'm going to start with the light Daffodil Delight. The only thing is, because I've mixed stamped images, it's kind of hard to know what's what. But honestly, if you don't know what it is and you color it wrong, odds are the person receiving it isn't going to know what it was supposed to be either and won't question it. So that's the light, and then the dark Daffodil Delight, just to give it a little contrast, like so. And then I come back with my light and blend. This is how I color. I've heard some people start with the darker shade and go from there. Whatever you feel comfortable, whatever outcome you like, go for it. Granny Apple Green is going to be my leaves. So I think that's a leaf. I'm having a hard time to tell what that is. Starting with the light. I am using the fine tip end, especially for the leaves, because they are kind of narrow. I don't want to completely color outside the lines, at least intentionally. And then the dark, I come and all I do for the leaves is I put a little bit of color on like the vein that runs in them. A little hot, a little light. Oops, I totally just colored on my finger. Hopefully that doesn't smear. And I just saw, I think I forgot, this is supposed to be yellow. Okay. Then, so you could leave it like that. Oops. But I don't know. I didn't want to. So I took my light Pool Party and I just used it to outline everything that didn't get colored. So basically the background is the Pool Party. And light Pool Party, just so it's like a little hint of color, but it's not like anything too dark. Just something to add a little bit of, so it's not too, I almost said naked, too blank. You could use your dark Pool Party as well. It would definitely give just a little bit more of a contrast. Again, whatever kind of style and look you like, go for it. Okay, and that's what we were left with. And then because I just wanted to go one step further, I took out my Wink of Stella and I added just a little sparkle. I just think this adds a fun extra, especially on like a simpler card where there's not that many layers and not much detail on it. It's nice to add a little sparkle, a little glimmer. It's very subtle, so you don't really even necessarily see it too clearly until you kind of move the card around. So I don't know if the light's gonna pick it up, but there's like a very fine glitter to it. And I like the Wink of Stella because it's not big glitter. It's like super tiny, very subtle. Just, I like it. Thanks everyone. I'm glad you're enjoying the card. So then you're gonna take your punch, gotta love a punch, and line it up. Something to keep in mind, I don't know if you can see it, but let me put it here. There is a little bit of like an indentation there for the tip of the umbrella. So try and line that up if you can manage to. And there will be like a sort of like a white outline. And then whoop, as it goes flying. And this is what you're left with. Oh, I just love it. It's so pretty. So pretty. Okay. One other thing, and I didn't get cardstock for this. Will it fit here? Yeah, it'll fit. We got to do the handle. So let me just quickly ink that up. Hopefully. Now, I could have stamped this directly on, oh boy, Jamie, why did you stamp it like that? Let's see if I can do this. I could have stamped the handle right on the card. It would have fit, but at the time as I was going about planning this, I was really kind of making this up as I was going along. So I stamped it separately, so I'll do the same for you. Get a handle. You could also just stamp, like, I don't know, a thing of cardstock. That would work too, but you can stamp and then punch. That works. Okay. I do want to show you one idea that I had in case anybody feels adventurous and wants to try it. So I ended up going with just using the Flirty Flamingo Designer Series paper, the gingham, as like the background. And I really love how it came out. However, I did originally have the idea of doing this, kind of creating a border and stamping the floral images. This time I did add a third floral image. It was one of those smaller ones. Again, I don't know if you heard, but there's 4, kind of 2 larger and 2 smaller. For the umbrella, I used these. And for my border, I threw in one, I don't remember, I think it was this one of the smaller ones as well. And so I originally was thinking this, that I would just stamp it and then color it. Now, if you're gonna cover the center like I did, there's no sense in stamping all that in the middle, coloring it. First of all, it's a huge waste of resources and a waste of your time because it's just gonna get covered. So what I did is I just put my cardstock down and I took a pencil and I traced it around, and the pencil marks can be erased later, and then I just kind of stamped all the way around. I was gonna color it the same, add the blue in. I don't know. I just ended up really liking the simplicity and the clean look of the designer series paper. But maybe one of these days I'll give this a go, and who knows, maybe I'll like it even more. But that's kind of was my thought process behind that. So I have 2 panels of Whisper White cardstock. The first one is 3.5 by 4 3/4, and then the second one's 1/8 bigger. I'm matting same color on same color, so this is 3 5/8. That's not right. 3. I don't think this is the right size. It's not the right size. It should be 3 5/8 by 4 7/8, but that's not right. Hold on, I'm gonna trim this. I'm gonna trim this one down. Hold on. Totally messed that one up. Okay, let's see. So that should, there we go. Okay. So ideally it would be 3 3/4 by 4. No. Hold on. Ideally it should be 3.5 by 4 3/4, and then the other one should be 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. That's not what mine's gonna end up being, just because I didn't cut it right, but the original has those measurements. Oh, thanks, Amy. I do too. I thought the gingham was just a nice, it's nothing. Some of those other patterns are a little, what I would call like serious, whereas the gingham is just kind of fun and happy. So I cannot not matte, but I didn't want to necessarily add another color, so I just matted Whisper White on Whisper White. And then I'm going to adhere, actually I did the umbrella first. And I use Stampin' Dimensionals, if I can find them. Here they are. 1, 2. Peel those off. And it's a little high. I wouldn't call it like center. I would say it's center, but a little high. Now, here's the thing. Well, I'll get there when I get there. You're going to need liquid glue, and I just use that to glue down the handle here. Less is more. And try not to drop it, because on my original I dropped it and then I had glue marks on my cardstock. So try not to drop it. Glue that down. Okay. Now I'm using the Sentiment Hello Sunshine because I just think it's super happy. I'm always looking, and I say it all the time, for versatile sentiments that can work for a number of different occasions. Now, if I was smart, I would have stamped this first, because if I stamp it crooked or wrong, I'm going to have a problem. But it is photopolymer. I can see right through it, and hopefully my aligning will be just fine. Okay, I'm using the Memento Black again. And, oh boy. Stamp down. Hopefully that works. Yes, we're good. Whew. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year. Okay. Then, where is my card? Here's my card. I wanted to add just a little bit more dimension, so I did adhere this panel down with Stampin' Dimensionals as well. I just love these things. I don't know a card that I don't use them on, honestly. And then you just peel them back. And what's nice about the gingham is it's like, will help you line up straight, because they're all lines, vertical and horizontal. So you can kind of use it as a guide for adhering down straight. Okay. So a little bit, I like the shadowing that Dimensionals use. What card was it? The one I did, I think it was yesterday with the UPS man. Someone had said that I did a shadow effect around it, but I really didn't. They were just adhered down with Dimensionals. So it looked like there was like this shadowing effect, like really intentional, but it was just the light hitting it just right. So I feel like I kind of cheated on that one. And just because I wanted to add a bow or like some kind of ribbon on the umbrella, but I couldn't find one that I liked with the coloring. I don't know. So I ended up just adding a couple of pearls. I'm using the small ones here. Oops, come back. Oops, come back. Oh, hold on. I gotta use my thing. These little guys are hard for me to pick up. I'll use my thing. Whoops. Oh my goodness. They don't want to go on. Okay, so I added a couple of pearls just to, I don't know, add an extra little embellishment there. So that's tonight's card. Again, it uses the Under My Umbrella bundle from the 2020 January to June catalog. If you have been watching live and you have yet to leave a comment, quickly do so, because as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to draw a name for someone to receive tonight's card. And it's a good one. I tend to like simple, like less is more kind of, and I just think this is really cute. So thank you everyone for joining me. Happy New Year. I hope everyone has a great 2020 ahead, and I will see you back next week. Thank you everyone for joining me. Have a good night. Bye-bye.